How you doing,
Hi,
Brittany?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. You look great.
Thank you.
I knew you was gonna have it all ready to go, the lighting and everything.
I had to have a little lighting, just a little. Let me turn it up a little bit. There we go.
You're crazy. So, thank you for making yourself available to hang out with a brother for a few minutes, about 40 minutes or so today. So, basically, what we'll do is I'm gonna do a quick intro for the show. I'm sporting Miami gear today. My son graduates from college today, so gotta
Oh,
go.
congratulations! I know these virtual graduations are tough. Ugh.
Yeah. He's not too happy, and we not either because we have planned on being there to celebrate this weekend. So, but we'll catch up with that later. But I'm gonna go ahead and introduce you. I did some more homework on you this morning, so I do my homework. I got some more stuff to kind of bring out to talk about.
What did Google tell you?
It's good stuff. It's all good. It's all good.
All right. Well, I'll confirm or deny whether it's true or not. So.
Yeah. This ain't one of those shows where I pull up some surprises. So it's all good. It's all good stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and welcome everyone. Thank you everybody for watching and listening to RDC Speak Life sessions. You may listen to this interview on my Spotify or Apple or Anchor or Google Podcasts, RDC Speak Life podcast sessions. You'll be able to listen to this tonight, tomorrow, whenever you want to. And you can view the broadcast again later on today on my IG. I'm pretty sure Brittany, she's going to have access, so Brittany will be pushing it out as well. Who I have before me today, I want to thank you for viewing and watching. It's going to be a good time. I have before me an actress, producer, humanitarian, philanthropist, social media influencer, Brittany Mayti. Did I pronounce your last name right?
You're putting a little emphasis on the end, but it's totally okay. It's just Brittany Mayti, but Mayti, I think I should use that because it sounds really important.
Yeah, it adds a little Mayti.
Yeah, it's a little, yeah. So I'm going to say Brittany Mayti from now on when I introduce myself. Thank you for that.
I just wanted to make sure I pronounce your last name because when I was reading, I said, I remember when we met and everything. I was like, man, that last name, I see it, but let me make sure I'm saying it right. So.
Well, in high school, they would be like, aye, matey. So.
Yeah. All right. So, how's it going? Are you in ATL, Cleveland, LA? Where are you at right now?
Right now, well, I'm quarantined with my grandparents, helping them out in Cleveland, Ohio, until the world opens back up. But I'm blessed and scarcely so going back and forth to Atlanta. I actually had to drive back down for an audition, which was kind of, yeah. Because most of the auditions are self-tape, but it was cool. They had on the face mask. We even did the whole line thing, 6 feet apart, just like they do at the grocery store. So, but yeah, in Cleveland until the world opens back up.
Well, since that's your hometown, it's not a bad place to be. Am I correct?
No, it's not at all. And I'm home with family. This is since I left Cleveland, 11 years ago to originally go to LA. This is the first time I've had this much uninterrupted time with my family, and it's definitely a positive. I know with all this going on, but yeah.
I tell everybody, take advantage of this time because I don't think we'll ever see this time again in our lifetime as far as where everything just kind of stops. So it's done this once every 100 years. So I don't know about you unless you taking some different serums and stuff like that to be around, 150 years from now. I'm not sure if I'll be around 150 years from now.
Oh, I'm taking serums now because of what's going on. I'm taking elderberry, vitamin C, multivitamins, black seed oil. I'm gonna be so healthy after this is all. So I might be here another 100 years. Who knows?
Me and you both. You've had a very interesting journey, and I've always respected. After I met you, as I said, I do homework on people that I meet because I like to know more about them. And I was very impressed with what you've accomplished in your career. And can you kind of share, when did you really start having the desire to work in the arts? When do you think that hit you?
A specific memory, I can go all the way back to when I was 11 years old with professional performance. Yes. So when I was 11, I performed a play called Ultimus Magnificus that we performed at the Cleveland Playhouse Theater. So that was my first real big professional performance. Prior to that, it was just in school plays. I was always in a talent show. Me and my cousins and little sister, we would put on performances for family. And although I was very shy, it's weird, when I was doing something related to the arts, it's like I became a whole nother person, but I was very shy as a child.
Are you still shy?
A little bit. So when I know I have to go out in front of like a big crowd, or if I'm doing a play and I have to talk to people, I do have to give myself a pep talk. Like, all right, Brittany, you got this. And then I'm on. But I'm really introverted, so I need my time alone so I can get built back up to be around people. So, yeah.
So, yeah, I was doing some homework on you from Cleveland, and I think you got recognized by Maple Heights High School, right?
Oh, you really did your homework. Yeah.
I told you, yeah. I am a student of everything I do. I'm a student of, so.
That's awesome. Yeah, that was probably one of the most largest highlights of my life. Although I wasn't recognized as an actress, I was actually recognized in my field in the marketing world. When I went to Maple Heights High School, I was in this program called DECA, which is a vocational program for high school students who kind of want to get into the marketing field upon graduating high school and out. So they prepare you for the business world. We had to work. Work was a part of our grade, all of that. So I kept going on, went to get my MBA, then I went to get a second master's. And my high school, they awarded me for that. So I'm in the Little Hall of Fame for my work in business. But it was kind of bittersweet because I'm like, man, I really wanted to come back for my work as an actress. So who knows? Hopefully they'll invite me again when I book.
Oh, they will. They will. Trust me, that's coming. It's all in due time. That's how I look at it. Everything happens at the right time. Everything happens at the right time. So you decided that you wanted to make the trek from Cleveland to LA for nearly a decade ago, or more than that. Why LA, and not New York?
Sometimes I regret that choice. No, but LA, I guess growing up watching television, when I was younger, I would study, I would look to see where things were filmed, and I just kept hearing LA. For a couple years, actually, my mom moved to Orlando. So I thought I was going to be on Nickelodeon when I was a kid because, they used to film a lot of those shows at Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando. And I would call and look in the phone book and call agents. Like, this is me at like 9, 10 years old before we moved back to Cleveland, trying to work in Nickelodeon Studios. Like, take the initiative. We didn't have the internet like that. But everyone was like, LA, LA, LA. Then I went to high school, in that DECA program. Me and a partner competed, and we actually won in the state and got to compete nationally in California. So when I was in high school, we got on a plane, we competed. I didn't care about the marketing part. Sorry if my teacher is listening or watching this. I didn't care about that part. But I was like, oh my gosh, we're going to LA. This is my senior year. I'm like, so we competed in the project, and then we stumbled upon one of our breaks on a set of Big Mama's House 2. I'm aging myself right now. And I'm talking to the extras. I see the food. They said we could have some of the food. I'm like, man, I've only been in LA a couple days. I saw a film set. As soon as I graduated from high school, I am going to LA. My mom had other plans, so I had to go to college first, and then I went to LA. But yeah.
Well, my wife added a comment because she's watching the interview. She, she's from Cleveland too. She says C-Town is representing excellence, and I know about DECA, Black Girl Magic at its finest with an MBA. So, she wanted to make sure she got that comment in there. So you got to LA. Now, when you first got to LA, did you just immediately start going into the industry, or did you work at a company and transition? How'd that go?
I had only $600 saved up.
Whoa, what? Say that again. You had what?
$600, and I was going to LA with $600. That's it. Part of that money I spent to ship my car there, so it was cheaper back then. And I was working at Marriott throughout college. But what I did was I had to quit that job, but I was working at Olive Garden. I got a job specifically at a new Olive Garden while I was still in college so that I could transfer to LA and work at Olive Garden just to secure a job, just to have something. And in the meantime, I was applying and I had some interviews lined up. But it was just by the grace of God. I was 21 years old, came there, My mom actually, she was working on getting her doctorate, so she was doing a residency at the same time when I was going to LA to kind of help me transition.
Okay.
And got an apartment, started working at Olive Garden while she was doing her residency, stacking those tips because a studio apartment at that time was $1,000 when my little rent in Ohio was $400, so $1,000. So
yeah,
I don't know how I made it happen, but yeah.
but it happened.
Yeah, as far as the industry, I knew some people. I had a mentor specifically. I don't know if he's on here, but Walter Allen Bennett. He was a writer for the Steve Harvey Show.
Okay.
And I met him because although I was majoring in marketing in college, I also helped out with the African Community Theater in the Pan-African Studies department. And they would bring industry professionals to film their movies, and I would work my marketing bit and network. And I'm like, I'm coming to LA. And he was like, all right. So I had to I called him like, I'm here. So like, are they waiting for me? Like, I thought it was about to just go down. He was like, okay, so here are the steps. This is what you got to do. Get in some classes. They're not recognizing those Ohio classes you took. You need to get some LA classes, Meisner, all of that. So I registered at Central Casting and be a background actor just so I can get some on-set experience because I just had theater experience primarily. And obviously they were saying when I was auditioning that I was doing too much. So on camera, close up, less is more. Theater, you're big. They have to see your facial expressions. So I had to learn how to transition from theater to on camera.
Brittany, you said some really important things with what this comment you just said, because a lot of people tell me who plan to move to LA or Atlanta or New York, they always say, well, I live here, I've been taking classes here in whatever city. And I tell everybody, I was like, that's great for where you live. But when you get to LA, they don't care. They really don't. No. They're like, that's great, but what are you doing here? That's what matters. So when you said that, that really, that's going to reinforce what I've been telling some people, because I know they're watching this as well. So I've been telling people, you need to work out here or New York, wherever you're going to be at, because the markets where the entertainment industry is based, that's where they're really concerned about you growing and training.
And not to discredit theater, because I've auditioned, and even on the producer side, I like hiring actors who have a theater background, because even line memorization, all of that, there are no cuts, there are no takes. Like, you're on stage, you're performing. So I love having the theater background, but it was a transition. But sometimes when you audition, everyone is really subjective. People have different attitudes towards things. Some people will strictly hire people right out of college that was in theater and on Broadway. That's a whole nother theater section. Yeah, when I got to LA, I wasn't ready. It took, God, I'm still, what did you say, it takes 10 years to be an overnight success? That is, to whoever's listening or watches later, 10 years plus is like the educational degree for an artist. Like, you're not graduating. I feel like that, and people I talk to, it's like 10 years or more.
Yeah. So you have to be willing to put in the work, and you have to love it. You have to really love it. And so many people say they want to be an actor or actress, and it's like, well, why do you want to do it? That's my first question. Why? Because Don Cheadle made this statement that if you want to be an actor, he talked about being famous, and he said, if you want to be famous, then don't be an actor. Yeah, it's basically what he says. If you want to be famous, because it's really, you got to have a passion for it. You know, that famous stuff, we all would love to have some type of notoriety and, you know, have our pockets lined a little bit. You know, we all want that. But
I tell everyone that if you want to be rich, don't start your journey as an actor. You really have to love it. Like, you have to love it. And I love it. And it's an actual, like, I prayed one day, I was like, man, God, this is hard. Can you give me another passion? And because, I mean, you know, like, I see my friends that went off to school, they're buying houses, they're doing all that. And I'm not necessarily saying a struggling actor. I hate that word. And I've learned how to build multiple streams of income. And just a year ago, I said I'm not working in corporate America anymore. This is what I'm doing. This is what God put on my heart. I prayed and asked for something else. He was like, no, this is it. This is your calling. This is your purpose. So, don't do it if you want to be rich, y'all, because
you got to have a passion for it. And I agree with you. I never say I'm a starving artist, a struggling artist, because I'm doing what I love to do. This is my passion. This is what I was born and made to do. So I was struggling when I worked in corporate America for 20 years, struggling up here and up here. So
let me tell you, mentally, I have,
yeah,
I was having migraines. I was stressed out. I had more money. I had a lot of money. I was able to travel and do some of the things I loved, but I was missing auditions. I had to make up excuses to get off of work. And the stress levels, when you're making someone else rich and you're fulfilling someone else's passion.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. I used to preach like you could do both, but the art, my creativity, like everything was just being smoldered by the stresses of a 9-to-5. So now I just feel free and creative. So.
And speaking of that, you've developed other ways to make income, as you said, because you are a social media influencer and brand specialist. And last year, I think you were an ambassador for the American Black Film Festival, correct? Which is pretty much one of the largest film festivals in the world in Miami. Can you tell us about that experience and how did that happen?
That was awesome. I actually believe our previous manager, I think they reached out or he reached out. I'm not sure how it happened, but I got entered into something and I got it. And I'd never been to the American Black Film Festival. Can you hear me? Are we live?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You're paused. Okay, as long as you can hear me, because it's like a little.
I paused. Am I okay? All right. Am I?
Huh?
Can you hear me now?
Hold on. Good. I feel like we're doing the
Bam.
The music competition thing where someone's stuck. Can you hear me? Should we go back out and go back in?
No, we good. I can hear you. I can see you and I can hear you. So it's weird. But, bam.
That's weird. I see myself, but I don't see.
You can keep talking. I can hear you.
Okay. So well, I'll continue talking.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
Yep, keep talking. We roll through this. This is how we have to do. This is live theater right now.
Okay. All right. So with ABFF, I never went, but I heard about it, heard amazing things about it. So I got to promote it, sell tickets for it, present it to people who never heard about it before. But it was such a great opportunity going there, networking again. I made some amazing connections that led to other things. Goodness. I mean, I'm so disappointed that unfortunately due to coronavirus, it has been postponed this year. But I recommend anyone who is an artist to go submit your project. Oh, you're back. I can see you now. Yay.
Yeah. told you it would come back. It would come back.
Okay. Yeah. Submit your projects. Yeah. So it was a really great experience, and I was blessed to be able to go and they gave us passes for promoting it, and we had a little meeting, and it was really awesome. And I made connections and rebuilt relationships. I know you're probably going to talk about this later, but the short film, that's how I got connected back with that. Is someone that I worked with before. I reconnected with her at ABFF. So, yeah, they're responsible for connecting us back together. So, yeah.
Did that have anything to do with, as far as a connection with you having a role with the Bobby DeVar's story as well? Or
they did premiere it there, but no.
Oh, they premiered it there.
Yeah, I just got to Atlanta and I was trying to figure out how things worked. I did have a talent agent at the time, but I was doing a lot of self-submission, and I saw a little small part, I didn't have any lines in it, posted on Facebook, and I submitted and I got it. And I was like, whoa, I'm talking maybe the first week in Atlanta. And that then led to, it was with Swirl Films. And after that then led to them asking, through the same casting director, January Curry, if I wanted to be a stand-in on Saints and Sinners, which is another one of their projects. And that was something I did when I first got to LA, extra and stand-in work. But I had just quit my job, and I'm like, I don't know many people in Atlanta yet. And what best way? I just worked with them on this film. Let me go ahead and be a stand-in. It was amazing. I was a stand-in for all the Black actresses on the show. So I was the only female stand-in, and it was amazing. Wow. Great connection. Swirl Film is amazing. I'm still auditioning for stuff for them, but it was great to network and get my footing in Atlanta.
It was really cool because I was at the LA premiere for the Bobby DeVar story, and I hadn't seen your post about you being in it. So I'm sitting there next to, my publicist is on one side, my wife is on the other, And then the opening scene, you know, of the movie, I'm like, hey, I know her. I was like, that's Brittany. I was like, whoa. So I was like applauding. I was all pumped up, and you know, it was pretty cool. So I just wanted to just once again congratulate you, because anytime we get on the screen and our work can be seen, it should be celebrated. Anytime.
Yeah, I didn't announce it because you never know if you don't make the cutting room floor. So you're like,
Yeah. Yeah, so I had to celebrate that with you. You talked about producing. So you helped produce a project called the Walton Family Cabin. Yeah. How did that come about?
Well, actually executive produced that with
See, let me I stand corrected. Executive produced.
Co-executive, which you are also on there as well.
Well, I'm a lightweight producer, little producer on there.
So my younger brother, back when I was in LA, 15 at the time, he lived with me for a little bit. So he got the acting bug. I enrolled him. I think he's on here. I don't know if he went away. But hey, Sam, if you're still there. He enrolled him in Second City, and he just saw me tirelessly in corporate America auditioning. You know, he also saw me knowing people, you know, like producers and directors, and like, how are you not getting these parts? You were better than them. I'm like, listen, it's all like, it's not about who you know. It's just subjective. There's all kinds of decision makers, and it was frustrating for him. And he was like, I'm gonna write you something. So he started writing stuff. This wasn't it yet. So later on, I came to Atlanta, and one of my friends wanted to get into acting, and I'm like, well, you need a demo reel. And she was like, well, I really want to do something horror. And I'm like, okay. So I contacted my brother, like, hey, my friend wants to do like a horror short, something we could afford, something like that we could do, one location. He's, you know, 16 at the time. He's like, all right. 2 days later, bam, he sends me this. And I'm like, wow, you know, just trying to hone in, like, as when I was younger, I wanted someone to do that, trying to pay it forward. And so he wrote us a short, and we shot it, and now we're still in editing. It'll come out soon, but it was amazing. And that then led him to his first paid writing gig through a producer I met at ABFF that I worked with as a production coordinator under, and she kind of taught me everything about how to produce. So yeah, so from that, him doing Walton Family Cabin, it's another project coming up called Hands Up, and he wrote that. The story concept, he kind of created that, and then we hired a writer to hone it in more, and yeah.
Man, Brittany, what I'm hearing about most your entire journey, because I really listen closely, is I hear the element of faith, that we all have to have that. To come to LA with $600, you crazy and you got faith.
Listen, I had my mom, so I did have my mom.
Yeah.
It was crazy, but I was gonna be there. I was gonna figure it out.
No, I respect it. I respect it, because you gotta have something in you that's just willing to jump. You really do. You can't, if you're playing it safe and you want to work in this type of industry, don't bother, because you can't play it safe. As you said, you can't hold down this career that's going to be so demanding that it's going to take away from your creativity. You gotta go both feet in the pool. You got to jump in, even when the water's cold. You got to jump all the way in. So I hear that. I hear that you are an incredible networker, because a lot of the stuff has come from relationships.
Not yet. This I'm just discovering. Like I dabbled in it. Now I'm really learning the importance of networking and continuing relationships, and reminding people that you still exist. So you may have someone that is a decision maker, but they have everyone at them. Like, I want this part, or they may have family members. I want to, you know, so you have to keep relationships flowing, and don't just pop up when someone's passing something. Really, really care. Really, check on people, wish them Merry Christmas, send them cards. So I'm working on that part. Like, and also learning that not to expect anything. Because I did have some disappointments where I'm like, dang, like that, and I felt like, or thought I was, but I'm really learning is you got to be present and remind people you're still there and have your work be undeniable.
Yes, there it is. And I tell everybody that as a entertainer, actor, our job is really to serve. We're like serving the project. We're serving who like the casting directors, because if they cast you, we got to show up because you affect the casting director. If you get on set and you ain't handling your business, that affects that person's business. It's a whole process.
Like some projects, people always blame, like, why did casting director cast those people? So you really have to show up and show out, and don't make them regret casting you.
Man, tell me about it. That's why I always bring my A game. Every day, wherever I go, whatever I do, my A game is on. So, next question I have for you. We were talking about the film festival. We talked about your awards from the school. When you moved from LA to Atlanta, and you know I was just teasing you about this, how did that feel?
It was scary. Most people who know me personally know I didn't just move to Atlanta. I came back to LA. So I don't know if I told you that. So I moved to Atlanta, transferred the job I had in corporate America. So I stayed a little bit, hated it, moved back to LA, went back to my old job that I had, but at another location. Had an immense amount of stress. It was just an overload of stress. And I think it might have been a blessing in disguise from God telling me, like, nobody told you to come back, Brittany. Go back to Atlanta. And so I got there, came back to Atlanta, no job, but you know, the cost of living in Atlanta is a third of income, a third of what it is in LA. Yeah. And I just stayed put. I just be still, as in if I just was still. I kind of felt like I was giving up in LA, but I just felt in my heart I can always come back. Right now it's a building situation, and Atlanta before this coronavirus thing is booming, especially for Black Hollywood. And there's so many films and productions that are going there, and just the element of being around people too, specifically people of color that are killing it in Atlanta. It was I was surrounded by so much Black excellence in LA. You know, it's different. Everybody is hustling in LA. Everybody is grinding. Everyone's for themselves. In Atlanta, I felt like with my experience when I first got there, people really want to. Even like building and working on projects together. I don't know. I feel like a lot of LA, everyone's for themselves. So.
All right. So you liking it? You thriving in Atlanta? Then I love to hear that, because you should. Atlanta's a cool city. Let's see. Oh, man, it's a bunch of people in here. I didn't even see all these people in here.
Oh, are people asking questions? Oh. Are you facilitating the questions, or should I look at them?
If you see a question you want to address, feel free to jump on and address the question.
What caused you from the conventional to the non-traditional? I'm so proud of you living your dreams. Thank you.
That's my wife again. She's all in it.
Thank you. You know, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So that was my conventional. I was doing the same thing. I was working in corporate America. I was getting auditions, but I couldn't really fully I was worried, am I going to get fired? I have to go. I have to run out. I got to go Uber to this audition, come back and work. And I managed buildings. So my last job, I managed a building in Beverly Hills. So you can only imagine, as a property manager, that's a 24-hour job. And I lived on site. So that was like my last 2-ish years in LA. And it just I wasn't happy and it wasn't working. So I kind of took, I wouldn't really say the non-traditional route. A lot of actors are kind of struggling actor, just giving their all. They're trying to figure out multiple streams of income, or the actorpreneur, where you find your own kind of businesses, or with social media, you know, I have money making abilities from that. So it's working now, but if it doesn't, then I'm gonna switch again.
And you know what? We have to stay flexible. I always tell people when I talk to people that I never change my goal. I may change the method of how I reach my goal, but I'm never going to change my goal. That's it. That's what I'm doing. You had a very interesting health journey too. You posted something earlier this week, and I looked at the picture. I was like, whoa. And you know, it was like, you know, I was like, man, she needs to share that, because some people need to hear that, especially right now when people are sitting around the house and with all these quarantine snacks.
I'm giving this. Gosh.
So if you wouldn't mind we would love to hear the journey. So
Yeah. You know, it was a couple years into LA and my aunt had passed, and she was like my older sister, 7 years apart. And I guess I took the sadness out and eating. I ate a lot. I probably gained 45 pounds heavier than I was at that time. So that picture wasn't even I was heavier than that picture. I just didn't take any pictures during that time. So I was heavier than that.
Okay.
And I forgot, my agent at the time was telling me how I believe Dr. Phil's son had coordinated with another young lady named Cynthia Pascella. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name correctly. And they were doing something called the Pink Method. And they were looking for people, actors, to try out the method. They would give you a trainer, food, you have to record your experience. And I'm like, yeah, man, I'll do it. It's, you know, acting kind of related, and I need help because I was struggling. And so yeah, I did that, and it just turned into something bigger than I thought it was going to be. Multiple appearances on the doctor's TV show. We appeared on Dr. Phil. It was an infomercial running long. And you know what? I'm missing one thing. Prior to that, my first 20 pounds I actually lost through the doctor's TV show with Barry's Boot Camp.
Oh, okay.
So Barry's Boot Camp, Barry himself, I trained with him for a month and lost 20 pounds. So that was my first appearance on the doctor's TV show. And then I still wasn't happy where I was. And then that's when I went to, did the Pink Method thing. So yeah, it's a daily struggle, but I've kept that weight off and learned the science of my body. So it's really 80% what you eat, 20% working out. But yeah, just knowing when I'm like, oop, I'm about to get to that level again. Let me change my lifestyle. Because I was there a couple weeks ago. I'm like, especially with my grandparents. My grandmother's a baker and my grandfather's a chef, and I love to cook. So we were eating night and day. So.
Oh wow.
And it's nothing else to
do. So what's your favorite? I guess treat to yourself. Something that you wouldn't eat on a regular basis, but something that you know you got to give yourself, you know, every once in a while just to be okay.
Chipotle,
really?
Yeah,
that's treat.
That's my cheat meal. I eat the whole bowl. At home, I love all food, so it's really nothing. It's just I try to do like cheat meals a weekend. Every 2 weeks, I'll do like Saturday or Sunday. I'll just like eat whatever I want. Because if you don't do that too, then like say you stop and then you cheat. You can't, like, I know for me personally, I just can't get off that. I'll just keep going and keep going. So when I know, like, every so often I have a cheat meal, it's so much more helpful.
Yeah. Well, that's how I do mine as well. I'm mindful about what I eat, but sweets are my Achilles. I don't really keep sweets in the house because I will devour them. But I do have a time throughout the week, once or twice, where I'll go grab me something that I like. Because if I don't, you will find me in a room passed out with a room full of cupcakes, and I'm laid out on the floor.
Oh,
so
wow.
I don't need that. I don't need that around.
I'm a savory cheat meal person. So sweets, I don't really battle with that. Not yet, but it's just food. And cheese, which is bad because I'm like, I was vegan for like 7 months straight, and then I fell off.
Yeah.
This quarantine, man, messed me up because there ain't nothing but cheese at my grandmother's house.
Here's another question. What allowed you to shed the most, as far as I guess whatever methods you were using, which one worked the best for you, and what did you change with your eating habits? You started addressing that, so if you want to elaborate a little bit more.
Okay, so wait, what was the first question? Let me go with that one first.
What allowed you to shed the most? Basically speaking about the different programs.
Okay, so Barry's Boot Camp was just an exercise. He did give me on the side like what I should be eating. Pink Method, I shed the most longer term because they had like a whole booklet of different things to eat, and it was, I'm not saying easier, but it was a program specifically for a woman. So like our woman's body. So even the workouts would cater certain areas. Barry's Boot Camp, which I love as well, but it was unisex. So sometimes women, we don't want to get like all bulky and we want to lift all the weight. So Pink Method was, to kind of like curve you out. So that worked for me in the long run, and I still utilize some of the things I learned and even the recipes they'd have. But the biggest thing also with Pink Method is changing what I ate. That's what really made me change most. Because you could work out all day, but if you still eating, like you said, cupcakes, donuts, all that, you can work out, but it's just making you want to crave more, and you keep eating those same things, and you're not gonna lose weight. You may stay the same, possible, but you're not gonna shed like that. So, yeah.
That's so true. That's so true. Put the cupcakes down. Put the cupcakes down. What advice would you give to someone who's thinking about working in entertainment, whether it's production on the behind the camera or in front of the camera? Somebody who would come to you and ask you that right now.
The people who don't win give up.
That's very profound.
Just don't give up. I've seen, even in LA, so many people who went back home and just gave up, and sometimes you think like, man, what if their blessing was right there? There's a meme where there's two men digging in like underground. I don't know if you saw it. And they're like digging, I think, for a diamond or something. Mm-hmm. And one man is like right there and he stops. And the other guy keeps going and the diamond is right there. So you don't know when your diamond is going to come, but you might as well live your life digging towards that diamond as opposed to giving up and thinking like, dang, what would have happened? What if? So I try to live my life with no what ifs.
The people who don't give up win. And I have a lot of people who ask me this. They tell me they want to be a life coach. They want to do other stuff. And I'm like, when you coaching people, you have to have a history of winning, because nobody wants to come behind somebody who hasn't shown that they can win at something in life. So it's so important that you show. To me, I think it's bigger than your bank account. When you can show that you can accomplish things in life, that's when people they gravitate towards you. So that what you just said is so important. Don't quit. See stuff. Be a finisher. When you start something, see it through. When I wrote my book, I basically told everybody, I don't care if one person or 1,000 people buy it. I don't care. I just want to finish it for me. That's it. And I did it. So I was happy to write a book. Now I want to write another one. So until diamonds manifest. Oh, dig towards diamonds until diamonds manifest. Okay.
That might be my new Instagram caption.
Hey, man, it's so important that people realize that. Did you ever do any work at Karamu House in Cleveland?
I worked with people through the African Community Theater at Kent State University, but I never directly worked there. But it's legendary. Yeah,
that's one of my regrets from moving from Cleveland, is that I didn't get a chance to really work there. I had a chance to act on the Playhouse Square stage before, thanks to Philly Wheaton cast me in this play.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, so Soulmate, he cast me in that a while ago. That got me, and I'm just like, wow, this felt great. But I have somewhat of a theater background, not as strong as you, and you probably sing too. I can hear. Do you sing as well?
I would say that is not one of the gifts the good Lord blessed me with. But I did a recent play actually with Nene Leakes, and I had to sing, but it didn't have to be good. The theater singing. So I can hold a tune. I can sing in a gospel choir, but I am not going to be the lead soloist. So, but yeah, if anybody casting out there, I can sing.
And that
play, actor, they're like, can you bungee jump? Can you ride a polo stick? Yes, I can. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can do it all. I'll do it all. And then when you leave, you better make sure you get ready, because they go.
Yeah, I had an audition with that, but I speak Spanish, and I just was saying every Spanish word I knew.
Somebody says hello from Scotland. How you doing?
Oh, Scotland there.
Yeah. My wife is just full of questions. She has another one. What do you miss from Cleveland? Because she misses Cleveland. She misses Cleveland. But I was like, we're not moving back. We're here or somewhere warm.
It's gloomy and it rains. I mean, oh God, I want to bring stuff back to Cleveland, but I just can't. I love the sunshine and the warmth in Atlanta and the sunshine in LA.
Yeah.
But what do I miss? I miss the people. I miss the realness of the people. I miss talking to people who aren't always talking about acting stuff. Just
Yeah.
so you know, when I do go back, I get filled up with all that love and the realness. I see she said what was my favorite restaurant. A lot of my favorites are gone now, but my grandparents owned a restaurant on Miles and Lee Road called Clouds Creative Cooking back in the day, and that would probably have to be my favorite.
Miles and Lee Road. You talking? Making me think about all those places back in Cleveland. Oh wow. So you were talking about the play you were in with Nene, and what was the name of that play again?
Confessions of an Exotic Dancer. But it wasn't like all, you know, we had a lot of church people coming to this play. It was pretty much Karan D. Riley played the lead character, and he was an exotic dancer, but it was like his perspective as to why he did it, what he did, you know. So the title is not, it wasn't like all that. Although we had some performances from real exotic male dancers. But yeah.
That would have been interesting. I would have loved to have seen some of the stuff, because you guys didn't come to LA, right? Because I remember.
No, I mean, this was right before the whole quarantine. We went to Dallas, so we had a couple shows in Dallas, and it was supposed to happen now, but can't have any plays now because the world's shut down, unfortunately.
Yeah, because I think I told you I was going to be there, you know, because I wanted to see it. So,
I played a real crazy lady in that. So.
Really, you play crazy. I think I can see that in some of your reels, and some of your acting. So I can definitely see you got that other side that you want to bring out. See, somebody. Oh, they said
I play whenever the.
You still there? Okay.
Oh, I think we broke. Oh, okay, you're back. Yep, I'm back.
Yeah. So, Philanice Nash, a very good friend of mine, says Slyman's is her restaurant in Cleveland.
You know, I've heard of Slyman's. I never ate there. I do know some of my favorite staples, like that they have their like corned beef sandwiches.
Yeah.
Not Slyman's in particular. Just what makes me think of Cleveland, since we're talking about food and I love food. And Polish Boys. Have you around Polish Boy where they have that Polish sausage with the French fries dipped in barbecue sauce with the coleslaw on top? They don't do that anywhere else, at least that I don't know. But that used to be my favorite growing up. Corned beef sandwiches, Polish Boys, and there was this one place called World Burger where they had a 1-pound burger that you kind of split with everyone. And I don't know if that's still around, but it was called World Burger.
You know, I miss Polish Boys. Somebody need to buy about 5 or 6 of them to ship them overnight here, because
you should just open up a restaurant in LA. Polish Boys.
Man, if I had the tolerance to deal with restaurant life, I would definitely have one. I'm just like, I can't deal with it, but I would definitely have one. I want to talk about some goals, you know, and how you're navigating this pandemic, and what types of things are you doing to prepare yourself for post-pandemic life?
Well, acting specifically, there's so many courses and teachers that are doing live classes and virtual trainings and casting directors. So I'm jumping on all those.
Yeah.
A lot of casting directors through my talent agent, People Store in Atlanta, they're sending out things where we film our monologues or previous auditions, and they send them to casting directors for the general meetings with them. Just because, you know, people are just even casting directors, they don't have anything to do, just to be introduced to new talent. Money wise, I actually was always against being an influencer, but I had a previous manager that said people were beating out actors just because they had a lot of followers, and they're like, if you're an actor and you are trained, go ahead and build your following up, share more with yourself, because as I mentioned, I was shy, very private. And so jumped on this whole influencer wagon, and prayerfully, a lot of brands are reaching out to influencers to promote because they can't film commercials. And so I've been doing all that, just training, reading scripts, watching a lot of classics, of classic films.
Because that's what a good actor
What I like to do is have the caption on while I watch, so I can see like the words kind of being brought to life by the characters. And that's weird, but I watch the closed caption, so I do that a lot. That's
actually a good idea. That's just like watching it with the script right in front of you. Because a very good friend of mine, Miranda Bowden, she's a writer for In the Cut and for Family Time on Bounce, and she was recommending that actors, like, or even if you desire to be a writer, that you get the script for that whatever episode you're watching or film and read the script while you're watching the show. So I was like, that's pretty cool. I never thought about that.
I've done a lot of classics. I'll read the script before that I haven't watched and then watch the film.
Yes.
To see what they did with the words. But I always tell actors, especially younger actors who ask me for advice, read. It's a lot of, like, you gotta read. And the art of reading is getting lost with all this technology and social media and all of that. But when you have that script in front of you, or words and just periods and commas, all of that is there for a reason. And I had to learn that myself. Like, my mentor, like, I would audition for stuff and he'd be like, what are you doing? Like, that writer put that comma there because that's supposed to be there. And the period there, that's the end of the sentence. So that really helped me as well, just reading and knowing where things goes when you audition, especially when you're auditioning in a producer session and the writer's there. You don't want to put your own spin on things when they wrote it how it's supposed to be presented. So.
Yeah, they can be a little testy about those. They're like, hey, I worked so hard to create this. I need you to honor and respect my work by saying it the way I wrote it. Don't put your stuff in it. So some people are like that.
I mean, you got adding your flair.
We got about
completely changing it, because I'll be like, oh, they missed this or they added that, and it's like, no, that's professional writers. That's all there. You bring your character to it, but you don't change and pause where you want to pause and do all that. And that really enlightened me. So I started reading a lot more, especially scripts.
Yes. We have about we got about almost 10 minutes left. No, 5 minutes. I'm looking at the clock. Okay. I looked at the wrong time. But I do want to ask some fun questions from you. My first question for you, if you were the lead singer of an R&B group, this is something I love asking. What would be your stage name and what would be the title hit song of your debut album?
So I like my middle name better than my first name, because Brittany, I just feel like it's going to be weird when I'm a 90-year-old Brittany. So my middle name is Sierra, even though there's already a singer named Sierra, but mine is Sierra. So it's different. So okay. Sierra, I guess it would be if loving you was wrong, because I loved all the wrong people. So in the past, the new Brittany knows how to love, but in the past it would be if loving you was wrong. That's how I felt back then. That would be the name.
I like that. What would be your ideal role as an actress? What would be your ideal role?
So I love Tisha Campbell's acting style, like her physical comedy, all of that. I love, of course, Martin. Who doesn't love that show? And I really love My Wife and Kids. My real ideal role, I never get auditions for like the goofy but serious mom. That's what I really want. That's like my ideal role on a series.
You know what? That explains a lot, because I noticed you do a lot of. Okay, am I still here?
Yeah, you are.
Can you see me?
Yes, I hear you. Yeah,
okay.
I see you now.
I've seen a lot of your clips where you will reenact either scenes from Martin, My Wife and Kids. So now that explains a lot. I'm like, oh, that's her thing. Okay, so you like some comedy. You like
targeted, so I'm putting it out there, so you never know who's looking. You know, casting directors cast me and something like that. Thank you.
Well, you know, I'm going to make sure we add Tisha Campbell on this too, so she just knows that you just showed her some love. So, because I think that's important.
She's phenomenal.
Yes, I love her too. I love her work, and Martin is still one of my favorite shows of all time.
Oh, so, for sure.
Now, my next question is, where is that you cooking at home or something?
No, sorry. It's an alarm, and I'm trying to sit here like, It's okay now.
Okay. All right, cool. My next question for you is, name your dream vacation, because you travel a lot, and I know you post from a lot of travel destinations. So who knows, one of these places might want to give you a free trip. So what's your travel destination? Where do you like to go?
There are so many places, but right now, because of what's all going on, I guess I really want to go to, okay, can I say two? There's two.
Yeah.
So Kenya. I want to go there and go to the Giraffe Manor where like the giraffes are walking around the resort. That'd be amazing. And then any of those places like Bora Bora or Maldives where they have the room like in the middle of the ocean, kind of off of it, you could just jump it right. I am a water child. I love the water. But those are I wouldn't even say it's a dream. I'm gonna make both of those happen in Jesus' name when the world opens. But those are my top two.
I'm with you. Bora Bora is like #1 for me right now.
Yeah.
So I'm right with you. Wow, that was pretty interesting. Now, this is why I want to ask you: can you give us 1 minute of wisdom, a minute of wisdom from Brittany that we can take and ride? You can talk for a minute. I've seen you talk, so I know you can talk for a minute.
I'd say, as I grow, I become more wise. The biggest thing I can say is until a couple years, I didn't know how to completely love myself fully. So I would suggest to anyone, no matter what form of work or whatever you're into, take some time to yourself. I took a year where you're single, where you love yourself, where you spoil yourself, where you do things you love. Really, really get to know yourself, because you can't love other people or love other things you're doing without truly understanding, loving, and taking care of yourself first. So that's I don't know if that was a minute. That's my wisdom.
I'm serious. That is, that advice is something that most people don't know how to follow. And during this time, it's when people really should be learning how to fall in love with themselves, if they haven't done that yet. I hear some people who are like home alone, and I can understand maybe feeling like, man, I need to be around some people, but learn to love that person you see in the mirror every morning.
Yeah.
Learn to love everything about that person, because that's going to help you love other people in a healthy way. So that's great advice. So see, you dropped some knowledge. How do you want people to stay in touch with you?
All platforms at Brittany Mayti, BRITTANY MAYTI.
And Brittany, I just really want to thank you very much for making yourself available, and tell your family, tell them hello. I know they don't know me, but they're in Cleveland, so they'll probably say hello, because that's how Cleveland is. It's cool.
We are not Midwest.
I would love to have you back again. What'd you say?
Oh no, I just said Midwest people are the nicest.
Oh yeah, yes we are. We are beautiful people. We love people. We're not about all that, look at me, look at me, look at me. We just want to love people and just have a good time. So, and we did notice that with even going out to different places out here, I like to go out and if I go out with my wife, I want to be able to dance. And there are so many people just standing on the walls. I'm like, did y'all come here to dance or what? So
definitely an LA thing. Yeah.
yeah. The parties are not as fun because everybody's just standing there with the drinks in their hand. It's like, this is not much fun. But I want to thank you very much. And I will have you back on here. I know you're going to be working on some projects in the future as soon as all this stuff lifts. So I'm looking forward to seeing your work and seeing your career to continue to grow. You have inspired me in a lot of ways. I watch your courage and stuff you've done. And I like the fact that you're very open and transparent, even on social media. That is so true, and that's so important. You don't see that from a lot of people, but I do see that in you. So that's why I'm just grateful that you were a part of my show, and be ready to be back on. So,
thank you so much.
Because who knows, in the future we're going to be talking about projects that we're both working on together. So in
Jesus' name.
I've had some. I've had some recent auditions.
Coronavirus ASAP.
I've had some recent auditions that may bring me to ATL. So
awesome.
For a little bit.
Well, Georgia's open now. They're getting back into the swing of things. Georgia opened up early, so just praying that everyone's safe and these productions are done safely and we're good. So
yeah, we're gonna be fine. Continue to take care of yourself. I know you're eating well. Spoil yourself still. Get that cheat meal. Get that Chipotle cheat meal. We'll have to send you a Chipotle gift card so you can go ahead and treat yourself. But thank you
Yes.
so much. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Be safe. And what's the weather in Cleveland? Is it warm today?
Gloomy, rainy. It's always gloomy and rainy.
Yeah, just a little gloomy and rainy. So don't worry about going outside then. But take care of your grandparents and continue to be you. And I think we just froze for a second, but I'll keep talking for a second until she comes back. She may come right back, or may not. But you have been listening to RDC Speak Life Sessions. You can follow on Spotify. You can subscribe on Apple. Make sure you like and rate the podcast when you listen to it. And you can watch the rebroadcast of this. Thank you very much. And she's gone. Love you.